Hello everyone, I'm here to show you how I attach my invisible selfie stick to my wing to go wing foiling. And what I do is I have my Insta360 camera attached to the end of this invisible selfie stick that I got off Amazon. And I like to show you how I attach it. This is my BRM wing. And I'm not sure about other brands out there, but at least in the BRM wings, there's this part here that I will actually cut into. It won't pop the bladder. It's part of the wing that doesn't have a bladder in it. And I'll use a loop of Velcro here. And it's rough on one side and fuzzy on the other side. I've been having a hard time trying to find this where it's nice and thick and strong. And what I do is it's gonna go through these two little slits I have here in the future and secure the invisible stick at the end of the wing, because my invisible stick will actually hang off the wing like this. And if I don't attach something here, it's just gonna be bobbing up and down. And it's gonna create too much vibration and unusable video footage. So I'm gonna show you how I cut into my wing here and use this loop Velcro that can kind of loop on itself to help me secure the selfie stick to the end of my wing. And then the camera, of course, is hanging off to get that third person view. And over here on the handle, basically, what I do is I have some Velcro strips that I secure it right here, and it's pretty locked on. And so it doesn't really twist or move. And then when I have this this other point of attachment right here with the Velcro loop, then it's really, really secure and doesn't go anywhere. So I'm happy to show you how I do it, and let's get into that. So a couple of things first, things that you need. You definitely need like a razor blade. This is that loop Velcro I'm gonna use to help me determine how wide of a slit I need to make on here and here. And I have my old soldering iron here for electronics. I'll use that to sort of cauterize and seal the fabric here so it doesn't continue to tear and rip over time. Almost like nylon webbing, when you cut it with scissors, you're supposed to use a flame to kind of harden the end so it doesn't fray over time. That's exactly what I'm gonna do here. So I'm gonna put one slit here with the razor blade, one slit here. The width is depending on how wide your Velcro strip is. This is about 1 inch, so I need about a little inch, maybe 1.5 inches at the most. I don't want it to be sliding all over the place to then maybe tear or rip even more of the wing fabric. So that's what I'm gonna do here first. So these are some of the things that you need to do this project. So this is the tail end of my wing. It's a BRM wing. It's a 3 square meter. And there's a sewn seam right here. I do not want to cut into that. I'm going to kind of slit over here and maybe over here. Maybe stay 1 inch away from the very, very bottom here. I really don't have a specific number, but I would say just stay 1 inch away. Each one of my finger segments is about 1 inch. Sometimes what you can do is you can take a Sharpie, and you can see I can actually stick my finger in here so the bladder is not in there. So I'm not going to cut the bladder. So basically I'll just kind of maybe draw a line here, roughly about 1 inch or so. And how much do I do? It's based on how thick my Velcro is. If my Velcro is a good inch, then you can see I have to do a little bit more. So I go a little bit further and roughly straight, and that's where we use the razor blade to cut in here. And I can just measure like that. I need a little bit more. Maybe over to here. Again, I stayed maybe about 1 inch away from the bottom seam here. You can see that maybe the Velcro is about the same width as my line here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my razor blade. I'm sticking my finger here to make sure I don't get this part that's down in here, which contains the bladder. I'm kind of spread my finger so I don't poke through and cut my own self. So basically, I'm just gonna cut a straight line where my Sharpie line is into the wing fabric, and it doesn't take very, very much at all. Okay, that's all it did. Sharp razor blade here, that's all. Like that. And then I just can I slip this through? It might be a little too tight, so I'm gonna actually make it a little bit wider, and that's okay. Again, just watch out for your fingers, you don't cut your fingers. So I went up to about here. And the goal is to slip this through to kind of cup it. So when the selfie stick comes down here, I can use this loop Velcro to secure it. And so if I'm able to, I should be able to slide this through. See, like that? And eventually I'll have a slit over here that it will come out. So let's do that next here. So again, I need roughly the same amount somewhere over here. Again, this is the seam here, so don't cut into that. Cut a little bit on the outside here. And you kind of can see maybe roughly around here. I'll probably cut it right here. It doesn't take much. The fabric's not that thick. You can hear it kind of sawing. Just do it nice and slow, nice and gently. I need to go roughly about to there, so I'm almost there. There you go. As you can see, I finished cutting it right here, you know, about the same width as the other side. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to feed this Velcro loop through the first cut. I have my finger underneath here to help me guide the Velcro underneath the center seam here. And I wanna have it come out this other end. And you can see that it's right there to see if I got the right amount of width to my cut here, okay? You see how I did that? So now my selfie stick, when I attach it to the handle here and it extends off a little bit, I can use this loop to help me secure it so it doesn't fall off. Now I'm going to show you how to use the soldering iron to cauterize the cuts. So basically I'm going to take this Velcro out. It's just meant to test fit, and you can see it's trying to fray here. We don't want that. So I'm going to take my soldering iron that's nice and hot, and basically I'm just going to melt this wing material here, and it's going to create a wider slit, which is fine because it's easier to Velcro. And it's kind of a little bit gummy. So basically, when I do that, the ends of the fabric are now cauterized. I can feel it's hard. Just like webbing, when you use a flame to melt the end of the webbing so it doesn't fray, it feels the same way. So now let's do the other side here. Gotta make sure I don't burn the material that's underneath inside. I kind of spread my fingers so I don't burn myself. And you can see I just kind of put it in here, all the way to the end of your cut, okay? Just maybe once or twice back and forth, and that's all you need. And again, it feels like hard material because it's melted like that nylon webbing. Now all you have to do is just slide the Velcro through, and it's secure. Now you're all set to go winging and record yourself on the water. And because the slit's a little bit bigger, it's easier to get the Velcro through. Like that. I actually need a little bit longer Velcro because it barely secures itself here, and I need more grip so the selfie stick doesn't pop through this and stuff like that and come loose. If you have any questions regarding this, let me know. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it very much. Of course, if you have any questions, please leave me a comment. I'd be happy to help you out and get back to you. Thanks for joining me, and I appreciate it very much. Everyone have a great day. Happy wing surfing on the water, and be safe. Thanks, and bye-bye.